But without further ado, let's just get into the movies. Oh, what movies? These are books. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and from the title of this video, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about a few of my current recent reads. I have 4 books that I'm going to talk about, which I think is what I'm going to do like all the time now. The past couple ones that I've done 4 books at a time, and I think that's just like a nice number to do it, so that's what we're going to do from now on. So every 4 books I will come and talk to you guys about them. But if you guys enjoy recent reads or like reading wrap-ups, let me know in the comments down below. Give this a big thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new and would like to see book content from myself. I will have timestamps down below if you just want to get to a certain book, in case you don't want to like hear my thoughts on all of these books. This is spoiler free, so I won't spoil any of the books for you. But without further ado, let's just get into the books that I've been reading, because I talk way too long in my intros anyway. Okay, so most of these books were all read on my Kindle app, because I don't have a Kindle, I just have the app. But there were 4 books, and they were all from, I'm pretty sure they're all like different genres, which I'm kind of proud of. Okay, so the first book that I read was 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole, and I gave that one a 5-star. And let me explain why. Let me explain a little bit about the book. So it is a young adult contemporary, and it is about a girl named, is it okay, I always get confused because I read this and then I read a Good Girl's Guide to Murder, like relatively within the same time. Okay, this one's Poppy. Okay, so we have Poppy and we have Rune, and they have been neighbors. You meet them when they're little, about like 8 years old, and her grandmother is sick and she is dying. So her grandmother gives her this jar, and it's labeled like 1,000 boy kisses, and her grandmother's like, go on adventures and like fill the jar up, and every time you have a kiss, you know, you write it down and put it in the jar. So she goes and takes a jar, and she goes and finds Rune, who's her neighbor, and she's telling him like the story of what her grandmother said. And he's like, no, you can't do that because I'm the only one that can give you kisses and things like that. And he's only 8 years old, and it's so cute. And then from there, it proceeds to like till when they're 15, and they're still together. They've been together ever since. And he is having to move back to where he's from, because he's originally from Norway, and he moved here when he was like 5 to live beside her. But he has to move back. So they spend a night together, and then he moves back. 2 years goes by, and then they're both 17, and he moves back to the house that he was in, which is her neighboring house. And she had just recently moved back as well. And that's all I can say without spoiling this book. It is a romance book, so to say. So it's really about them kind of coming back together, finding each other. They lost touch when he moved away. She stopped responding to his messages and things like that. So it's kind of like finding out why that happened. Be forewarned. Like, I ugly cried when I read this book. Like, I haven't cried during a book since like Lovely War. But I bawled my eyes out during this book. So just be prepared for that. But yeah, 5 out of 5. It was such a good story. I loved it. But yeah, just be warned. Have some tissues with you if you plan on reading this book, because it is a tearjerker. Okay, so the next book I read was, I don't even know how to explain this.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
I don't even know. The next book is Bunny by Mona Awad, or Awad. I give it 3 stars. It's technically an adult horror, I think, or thriller. I said both. I don't know what it is. And I don't know what it is. Like, I cannot explain to you what this book is, okay? I had seen Books and Lala talk about it. I had seen Katie Coulson talk about it. I had seen Riley Marie talk about it. So I'm like, and Gabby Reeves talked about it. So I'm like, I'm going to read it. I don't know what I read. Like, I don't know what it is. It is technically about a girl named Samantha. She is in grad school for fine arts, wants to be a writer. And she is in this class with a group of girls who call themselves Bunny. Like, they call each other, they have names, but they're each Bunny. And they call themselves like a whole. They're like, we feel this way, we feel that way. And one day she gets invited to their smut salon, so she decides to go. And that's all I can tell you, because I don't know what it is that I read. It's like a collection of like Occult, Heathers, and The Craft, all mixed into one. Kind of, that's the vibe that a lot of people say in like the reviews, and I feel it. That's kind of what it is. But I can't tell you anything that happens in the story. One, because it will spoil it, and two, because I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So it was an interesting read, but I can't even compare it. Like, I can't say if you like this, then read that, because like, I just can't. I'm so sorry that is like the worst explanation of a book, but it's the truth. Like, I cannot tell you what this book is even about, like what the premise is. Oh. Okay, my third book that I read was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and I gave that 4 stars. Now, I know this is a lot of people's like really favorite book. It's a YA mystery thriller, and it was good, but I was like expecting it to be like so good, but it was just good. So it was, yeah. So,
And
I'm sorry. But this is about a senior named Pippa. See, I get them confused because they're both Poppy and Pippa. This is Pippa. And she's a senior in high school, and she has to do like a capstone project. So what she decides to do is 5 years ago in her town, a senior named, I think she was a senior, I'm pretty sure she was a senior, named Andy Bell was murdered, and everyone suspected that it was her boyfriend who did it at the time. But the case was never really solved because he ended up committing suicide, and they just kind of let the case go. They closed the case and said that, well, he was guilty, and that was that. However, she does not believe that he was the one that killed her. So it's really like her diving into that, learning about the case, trying to figure out, is she really dead? Did he really kill himself? Did she just disappear? All this, all that. It was a good book. You know, she actually gets the help of the boy's name was Sal, that they thought murdered his girlfriend. And he's got a younger brother who was older than Pippa. Yeah, Pippa is. And they kind of like, I guess it's sort of like a romance, but that's not the main point of like the story at all. But he helps her with like finding out what happened and the clues and everything like that. And I did like the fact that the book was like mixed media. So it has like maps, it has like telephone calls, transcripts, interviews, things like that mixed in. So that I did enjoy. And I didn't know who did it. Like, she's very good at like making you think you know who did it and what happened. And then like a plot twist happens and you're like, oh, I have really no idea what is going on in this book. But like I said, it's not like it wasn't a 5-star for me. Like, I don't know if I'd reread it, but I liked it. So I gave it a 4. Still a good book though. If you enjoy like YA mysteries and things like that, I'd recommend it. And then the last book that I read was actually a novella, and it was called Theirs for the Night, and it's by Katie Roberts, and I gave it 4? I gave it 4 stars. This was my first like Katie Roberts book getting into that kind of like romance of like what she writes, and I enjoyed it. It's a MMF relationship, so 2 males, 1 female. It's really short. It's like 80 some pages long. It all happens within one night. It also has like a bodyguard type element to it also, so if you're kind of into that. The smutty scenes were they were good. Like she knows what she's talking about, and she can write. Like I'm hooked. Like I just went and bought her like Wicked, like Twisted, it's like her twist on like the Disney stories. I can't remember what it's called right now, but I just bought the first book and I'm ready, because like she gave me a little taste and now I'm hooked. But the Theirs for the Night is actually the first in the series. There's 2 more books, and then like they're full-length books. So the first one was a novella, and then it goes like full length from there. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, it just gets down to it. Like, you know, because you only do so much during a novella anyway. So it goes from the meeting to wham bam, thank you ma'am, to the end of the book. But you know, sometimes that's just what you need, a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It for what it was, it did its job. So, but yeah, that is all the books that I have read recently. Let me know down below, what have you been reading recently, or what have you read in the past couple months? Because this is from like back in like February, end of February till now. But let me know down in the comments. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new and would like to see more videos of myself. All my social media is linked down below: my Goodreads, my Twitter, my Instagram, and also my Amazon wish list if you ever want to support the channel. But just know, you watching and giving us a thumbs up and commenting also helps support the channel. So don't ever feel like you're obligated to do that. But I hope you guys have a great day or night or whenever you're watching this, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys. Come here. Come here, come here. Oh, look. Oh, jump it. You will love me. You will love me. Why are you so rude to me? Just, you're going to sit right there now in front of my camera. We're going to sit right in front of the camera. And then 2 years go by and he moves back to the Americas. It's fine. I don't know what to say.